Welcome to National Learning Network Cork. In this video, we take a look at how the employment policy supports businesses and employers in relation to providing employment opportunities for people with additional support needs. Our primary partner in this regard is the Department of Social Protection and Employment Affairs, and I'm delighted that we are joined by Mr. Dermot Crosby from the department to speak a bit about those financial incentives and supports. Please take a look.
Hi everyone, my name is Dermot. I work with the Department of Social Protection, and what I'd like to do for the next few minutes is give you an overview of the various employment support grants. The first grant that I'd like to make you aware of is the Wage Subsidy Scheme, also known as the WSS. The WSS is a financial support available to employers to help them employ a job seeker with a disability. To qualify, the employee must work between 21 and 39 hours per week, and the maximum grant available to the employer is €10,748 per annum. The next grant that I'd like to tell you about is the Workplace Equipment Adaptation Grant. This grant covers the cost of non-standard equipment that an employee with a disability may require to help them do their job. Non-standard equipment in this instance refers to equipment not normally supplied by the employer. If you had an employee with dyslexia and they required some software to help them do their job, the Workplace Equipment Adaptation Grant will cover the cost of the software. If you had an employee with a visual impairment and they required a large computer monitor or some software, again the Workplace Equipment Adaptation Grant will cover the cost of the equipment. The maximum grant available is €6,350. The next grant I'd like to make you aware of is the Employee Retention Grant. This grant is available to an employee who acquires a disability and they may be in danger of losing their job. Up to €15,000 is available through this grant in two ways. First of all, to put supports and accommodations in place to keep the employee in their current role. If that's not possible, the funding can be used to have the person retrained to take up another role in the same company. The next grant I'd like to tell you about is the Disability Awareness Support Scheme. Up to €20,000 is available through this grant to provide disability awareness training in the workplace. This grant allows an employer to bring in a disability awareness trainer and provide disability awareness training briefings to staff. And it gives the staff the opportunity to ask questions of the disability awareness trainer and to try and eliminate mistaken perceptions about people with disabilities in their capacity to be productive employees and work colleagues. The next grant that I would like to make you aware of is the Job Interview Interpreter Grant. This grant is available to somebody who is deaf or hard of hearing or somebody with a speech impairment who requires the assistance of an interpreter for job interview situations. Importantly, there's no cost to the employer in this instance. The grant can be used as often as is required until the interviewee secures a job. And when a job is secured, the grant can be availed of again to cover the cost of an induction. So the interpreter can come into the workplace to introduce the deaf employee to work colleagues and cover health and safety legislation and so on. Finally, the last grant that I'd like to cover with you today is the Personal Reader Grant. This grant is available to somebody who is blind or visually impaired who requires assistance with work-related reading. Up to 640 hours of reading can be funded through this grant. The employee nominates their own personal reader and the reader is paid at the minimum wage. The Department of Social Protection has responsibility for providing labour market supports and services for job seekers with disabilities. The Department's Make Work Pay policy is a step in the right direction and in line with the social model of disability. In Ireland, we've progressed from the charity model of disability to the medical model and now the social model of disability. The Department's Make Work Pay policy enables job seekers with disabilities to take up part-time and full-time work and have no concerns around their social welfare payment and other secondary benefits such as medical cards. The Make Work Pay policy provides greater clarity and security around the right to work for people with disabilities.
As we have seen, there are very good business reasons for providing employment opportunities for people with additional support needs. Number one, in so doing, you're implementing a corporate social responsibility plan. Number two, you're providing for social diversity in the workplace. Number three, you can demonstrate to your customers a strong adherence to community values. And number four, we've seen there are very good financial incentives and supports from government to do so. So if you're interested in working with National Learning Network, please call us on any one of the two numbers on the screen. And thank you.